Currently, Good Old Games, known as GOG, is having some crazy deals right now on sale on old favorites and new games alike. And we always see videos about Steam sales. Well, I wanted to show to you guys some titles that you may not have heard of because they're quite old, but they're worth checking out for sure, especially at its current prices. I mean, a lot of the games right now are ranging from the ones I've looked at from 60% off, which is the lowest, all the way into the 90% off range, which is just crazy in my mind, but it is what it is. So some great deals to be had, so let's take a look. The first one I wanted us to take a look at is Tomb Raider Underworld. We all know the Tomb Raider franchise series, beloved by many, especially the newer ones, has came back to popularity quite a bit. But in its earlier years, there were a lot of other games that just don't get the same attention as the newer ones, but Tomb Raider Underworld is a great one, and I would advise you guys to check it out if you're a fan of the newer ones, to look at the roots of the classic, more classic experience of the Tomb Raider series. And it's a great game to play through. It still holds up till this day, and it's, as you see, 89%, so $1.09 in my regions, which is insane deal. But the graphics still look great even till this day, and yeah, it's really worth checking out, guys, if you have not played this one. It's more of a classic experience gameplay wise rather than the newer ones. The newer ones are more action packed. This is more about exploring and figuring out puzzles than shooting bad guys, but it's worth a shot. And this is the Legacy of Kain series. There are a few of these games in this series, this one being Legacy of Kain. Soul Reaver 2, also an amazing game, you know, top-notch voice acting even till this day. Some great voice acting. Graphics, wow, you know, old, still decent, still visually pleasant in my eyes at least, and great storyline. Yeah, the gameplay is a little bit more basic in comparison to today's games, but it's a classic for many, and you know what, for good reason. And the next game I wanted to bring to your attention was Legacy Kain Defiance, which is also part of the Legacy of Kain series. This takes the role of a different character in the Legacy series. This game is newer, however. This released 2003, and the graphics, definitely there's a noticeable upgrade in graphics. Again, great storyline, great voice actors. If you want to get the full picture of the story, I'd advise you guys to get both of these, especially this one as well, currently sitting at 86%, which is nuts. So go pick this one up too. What do you get when you take strategy into space? Well, you get Homeworld, exactly. This is a classic, and for good reason as well. This is the remastered version, Homeworld Remastered Collection, so I believe it includes Homeworld Remastered and Homeworld 2 Remastered Edition, and a multiplayer that also has been remastered. Great game, guys. This game is definitely worth checking out. It's extremely unique. Not many titles play like this game plays. There hasn't really been a replacement for this type of gameplay. Base building with ships in space, with mining. Yeah, just a fun game to play. Even though this is an older title, but the graphics have been improved, and the gameplay is what matters again, as I stated in my previous videos. And the gameplay in this game is awesome. This game's definitely worth checking out. You'll have plenty of hours, great storyline, great voice acting, and it's currently 90% off, guys. This is a no-brainer in my mind. Deus Ex Game of the Year Edition. I don't think this game doesn't need any introduction at this point, but it's wow. This game, it's came out June 22nd, 2000, so it's been out for a good 22 years by now. But you know what? The storyline, the gameplay, it transformed the FPS era because it was the first to integrate first-person shooter mechanics with RPG elements. I think it was one of the first of its kind. Well, at least to do it successfully. And this game's story still holds up till this day, and for good reason. If you have not played it, I highly recommend it if you can get past the graphics. I mean, the graphics are ancient for a 22-year-old game, but gameplay is what counts in most cases, and it certainly does here. This is well worth picking up, especially at its current price at 86% off, which is just insane bargain in my view. And there are HD textures, graphics transformation packs you can download for this game if the graphics bother you a bit, but either way, this is a welcomed game to add to your library. The next title I want you guys to take a look at is World in Conflict. This is the complete edition, which comes with the expansion for the original game. And this game came out 2007, and it's been hailed critically for its great gameplay and just amazing graphics. It's a strategy game, but there is no real time building. It's more story focused, I would say, but it's a fun game, especially if you like the Company of Heroes type gameplay. It takes place in the more modern era rather than World War II like Company of Heroes does, but it's a lot of fun and it holds up even till this day. The gameplay is still top notch in my mind, and it was known for very highly detailed and demanding game back in its early years. So right now it's not an issue to run, but now it's a treat to play on your hardware. So check it out, guys. Guys, if you're a fan of horror, Outlast series is your game. This originally came out 2013, and it made a big splash because horror games weren't really all that popular, and this one made a big splash, and for good reason, because it had a great storyline. It had very spooky game, actually. Even till this day, if you have never played it, highly recommend it. Just a great game to scare your wits, you know. And this is the first one, and then initially they released a second one, which is also currently on sale, and this one released in 2017, and it's a different storyline obviously, but just as scary. And if you're a fan of horror, highly advise you guys picking them up currently, as they're both on sale 85% off. So I mean, $4.99 in my region, that's half of what a McDonald's meal currently is today. So worth picking up for sure. Another Deus Ex game, guys. This one's Human Revolution, the director's cut, and it parallels the story from the original, but the main actor is a different individual in this series of the game. And this game is amazing from start to end. The story grips you, and as well it does the first person and RPG elements, just wonderful, just like the original. The graphics still hold up, even though this originally came out 2011. This is a director's version, which was revamped the graphics a little bit for 2013. So yeah, the storyline is great, the voice acting great. There's voice selections that actually matter. Your choices matter depending what you choose. So this is a great playthrough, especially if you've never played. It's a lengthy campaign, and you'll definitely get your money's worth from this one. Another title I'd advise you guys to take a look at is Brother in Arms Hell's Highway, and this is a critically acclaimed World War II shooter. It's squad based, so you get to control your squad, and it came out in 2008 and it uses the Unreal 3 engine, but the game still looks amazing. And the sound effects, if you guys more akin to the older days of Medal of Honor series, this is your game. This is pretty much a newer Medal of Honor type game with squad based tactics where you get to control the movement of your teammates, and currently sitting around 60% off at under $4. So this is definitely worth a pickup. This is definitely worth a playthrough. Very enjoyable. As well, another one in the Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Again, sorry about advising Deus Ex games, but if you can't tell, I'm a huge fan, so I can't help myself, guys. And this is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. This was initially released in 2016 and it's currently 85% off. It's the latest installment of the Deus Ex series. This one in particular has the same role-playing individual from Humankind Divided, and it is also a great game. In my view, the story in general is not as great as Humankind Divided, but it's still enjoyable to play through. And you know what, the graphics are still awesome in this one, if you can't tell from the screenshots. And yeah, just well worth it picking up, and currently at 85% off, so go get it, guys, while it's still on sale. Another title that's worth picking up is an unknown game called Drakensang, and it released in 2009 from a German developer. And Drakensang is a third-person based RPG based on pen and paper rules, so it's definitely for those who love their hardcore RPGs. And it's a great title, and it includes magic, it includes party-based gameplay, and currently sitting around 75% off, so well under $3, so it definitely fits the bill. Check it out, guys. The Curse of Monkey Island. Oh boy, this game is hilarious, and it came out well over 25 years exact, 1997, which is probably older than majority of the people perhaps even watching this video. But you know what, the paint-like graphics still hold up because it looks great even till this day, and the voice acting and the story is hilarious. But this is more of a point and click adventure if you've never played the Monkey Island series. There's a few of these games, and I don't believe they make them anymore. The last one in the series is quite old by now, but this one released midlife of the series, and it's still a fun game to play through. And last but not least, well, where it all started, Far Cry 1 to be exact. Yeah, Far Cry series these days are well known and are well popular, but not many know its origin roots, where it all started. And this is where it all began for Far Cry. Far Cry 1, which was released around 2004, and it's more linear gameplay rather than the new open sprawling ones where you get to go wherever you prefer. But it's still a lot of fun, and this game made a big splash in the gaming community back in the days. That's how it got its popularity, because the first one, you know, it was a great game, and it's still worth playing today. So if you have not played it, this is definitely worth picking up, especially at its current 70% off. And guys, you should see the water in this game. For a 2004 title, man, oh man, the water looks amazing even till today. And the next one, obviously, runner-up is Far Cry 2, which came out 2008, 4 years later from the first one, and this one took a little different, shall we say, direction rather than the first one. It's more open world, more relatable to the current ones, Far Cry, but many claim it's fairly hardcore gameplay in comparison to new ones, more unforgiving than the newer ones. So it's definitely a different experience, and it's also a worthwhile experience to pick it up right now, and it's currently 70% off. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of these titles. And there are many more great titles currently up for sale on Good Old Games, some classics, some newer, and I would just love to know what you guys will pick for yourself to pick up this sale. Well, Blueberg out.